Julianna Peña decided to bless ESPN Studios with more gushing obsession over the retirement of Amanda Nunes and her missed opportunity at greatness. The MMA media briefly gave hope for Peña's stands in lying about Ronda Rousey's return to reclaim the Bantamweight title in a fight against her. Alas, Peña still sits without a big name as her dance partner for that vacant title. Julianna has already gone on record stating that she does not want to discuss the lioness any further and focus on the division and getting her belt back. Well, F that noise, I guess, because here we are on the 4th of July and still talking about a retired fighter.
Of course, everyone was going, what about this trilogy, this third decisive fight between you two? You were supposed to be the top contender. You guys are 1-1.
What? Everybody did not go,
what about this trilogy?
Julianna went,
what about this trilogy?
in her head movies. Peña is in legit damage control here. Somebody must have convinced her that she lost her mind. And now she's composed and dressed in white to encourage the idea of innocence.
What do you make of her deciding to leave the ring and not have that trilogy that we were looking for?
Leave the ring. Hell yeah. MMA media at its finest.
I think that the biggest thing for me is, like you said, Elle, we are 1-1, and I think I'm the only person on the face of the planet that is allowed or can say or call Amanda Nunes a coward because we do have unfinished business.
No, you do not. Peña has unfinished business. Amanda is all the way done.
And, I definitely think that she found the easy way out in retiring.
She took on every single high-level fighter the UFC could find and sign not named Kayla Harrison, including the person saying that she took the easy way out in a rematch in dominant fashion. She took the hardest road possible for her division in the time she existed and dominated. Remember, Nunes eventually agreed to this fight. It was Peña that got injured, unfortunately.
Injuries happen in the sport. Of course, it's my fault that I wasn't able to compete at that time, but she also pulled out of our fight, when we were supposed to fight the first time, and she's pulled out of many fights in the past, doesn't mean that you go and retire because of it. So for me, I think that it's just a little frustrating, and, I think that I was definitely showing my frustration there cage side, which, of course that's what I'm gonna do when they're, sticking a camera in my face and asking me, what are your thoughts after every single round, so I got a little ahead of myself, but.
A little? Girl, you got a lot ahead of yourself.
As a mom, as a human, I wish her the best. Enjoy retirement, you know what I mean? Have a good time, but on a professional level, I'm like, you can't go when we're 1-1. I mean, if we play rock, paper, scissors, me and you right now.
Yeah, you can't walk
away. And we go
away.
1-1, are we just gonna walk away?
No.
No, you gotta finish it out. You gotta see it through, so.
God-awful analogy. I'm not even going to expand on it.
I think she knew it was in store for her, and that's why she, chose the easy way out, and I guess we'll never know.
You also have said that it is difficult at her age, she's still young, to walk away from a sport that you supposedly love so much. Do you think that this is actually it for her? And would you be open to fighting her if she decided to return?
What do you all think of the age for female fighters in bantamweight? For men, flyweight to welterweight, post 35 is where natural decline is common. Is it different for women? Could Amanda have gone another 2 or 3 years? Even 1? Also, let's not forget about Amanda's strength of schedule, which, while not impeccable, it's a country mile ahead of Peña's.
I'll always want to fight her if she decides to return, absolutely. There's fights that are on my bucket list of things that I want to get back, things that I want to do.
That right there piques my interest. I think Julianna is still hoping for a Ronda fight somewhere.
And she's definitely one of them. I definitely think that she knows that. I know that. Maybe not the general public knows that because all they're looking at is possibly highlights. But what I would encourage fans to do is to go back and watch that fight and actually take into account, without the commentary or anything, just watch the fight. You'll see that it was a lot closer than people want to give me credit for.
Hold on, I'm going to do that right now. Full fight for the 3rd time, no audio.
They wanna sing, they wanna dance with the man, dance all night long. People, are you there? Dance with the man, dance with the man,
they see the drops, they see me getting knocked down, and yeah, it absolutely happened. But, I let her take the time to go make those adjustments and revamp her entire style, and I felt like it was, kind of a snub for her to not let me have that same opportunity.
I will give Julianna this. She is tough as fuck, dude. The fight was closer than what it seems like upon first viewing, but that doesn't mean the fight was close. Julianna's best weapon on her feet is her two while she's in orthodox. She doesn't have good hooks, she almost never uses uppercuts, and her jab sucks. She's not good at feinting, and more than anything else, Julianna, and just like Miesha Tate said, nobody was gonna beat this woman, the power is just too much. It was way too much. Julianna looked great. She looked in great shape. You could see her quads all shredded. You could see her back all shredded. But what you can also see is the difference when each of them land. And don't get it twisted, Peña landed some good shots. I'm of the mind that it's better for everybody there that Nunes isn't there. She was just too strong for everybody. And it shows in that rematch. So there you go. Third time watching it, Peña still got dominated. She still got dominated, that's all there is to it. Sorry about it. 10 minutes plus of control time, and I can't even remember how many knockdowns. It felt like 20, but it was more like, 4 or 5, something like that. I'm not gonna look up the stats right now because we gotta move on.
That is a vacant title though, so regardless of what Nunes decides to do or not, any indication of when you may try to go for that title?
Yeah, I would like to try to come back from fall right now.
So Peña intends to come back at the end of the year. Fine. I feel like this may not all be Peña's fault in dredging up Amanda again. Maybe ESPN won't shut the hell up about it. The machine could be behind this in an attempt to bait Amanda back into completing a trilogy. Maybe. Either way, I don't think Amanda will bite. Where does that leave Peña and the rest of the Bantamweight division and the phantasm of Featherweight?
Raquel, obviously there's now a vacant title. You're on the longest win streak in the division. When are you fighting Julianna Peña?
It should have been yesterday, but I guess I'll wait until I get the call from UFC.
Raquel Pennington is already 10 times more based than Peña.
For me, I'm hoping maybe around November, December timeframe would be a perfect timeframe. Give me time to enjoy the family and then get into a solid fight camp.
Lines up with what Peña is wanting.
What have you made of Julianna's trash talk towards Amanda Nunes? Do you like it? Do you think it's good for the division, or do you think she's, yeah?
I feel like Julianna has to find a way to make herself relevant. She sat there and she upset the world and she won the world title, and then Amanda came back and put on an extremely dominating performance. And then, she did everything to get the third shot, and there was a lot of people saying love her or hate her. People love watching her get her ass beat for 5 rounds. And I feel like that was just all part of it. Amanda sat here and she's moving on with her life and doing other things, and I don't think Julianna liked that idea.
Wow. Pennington's new nickname is Base as Fuck.
Oh, absolutely. I've had that plan for a few years now. Ever since I had my first shot at the world title, I had my struggles when it came to that, and then now I just feel in a completely different place. I feel complete with my little family, and there's a whole lot of visions. I'm the type of person that makes visions come true. I feel like, she's tough. She's absolutely tough. Being on The Ultimate Fighter with her, I won't forget that. And so, but, there's so much more that goes into that for me. Dana always saw us on The Ultimate Fighter, probably fighting for the finale. I won Fight of the Season on my season, and then I had a fractured forearm, a broken hand, stitches, and it didn't work out that way for me. So here we are 10 years later matching up, and I feel like it's going to play for an exciting fight. I feel like it's going to come down to whoever wants it more, whoever has the better cardio. We're both tough, we're both nitty gritty, and it's just going to be whoever's willpower has the most. I think you know the answer to that, but no, we did not keep in touch. It definitely made for a long 7 weeks on The Ultimate Fighter, having her as a roommate. It's just kind of one of those situations for me that, people have different personalities, and that's what it turned out to be. We have different personalities, so it was like, you stick to your side, I'll stick to my side. They kept us apart in the gym, and let's just say I'm looking forward to meeting her in the octagon.
Did you? New person.
Pennington very much seems like she doesn't give a shit about Peña at all. She seems way more into the idea of being a champion. This is what's so frustrating with Julianna. I've already covered the reasons in multiple videos. The Venezuelan vixen sees Raquel Pennington as a footnote in her legendary career. Pennington is giving off some interesting body language and replies. Raquel doesn't seem to like Julianna Julianna at all. There is a little more here than meets the eye between these two. And that entire season has the current state of women's Bantamweight division, Ultimate Fighter Tate versus Rousey, riddled with layered stories. I'm gonna suffer through that entire season all over again for you guys.
I think Amanda she's the legend. So, I mean, congratulations, hats off to her. I'm happy that she was able to retire a double champ. That's pretty cool. And to be honest, I think it should be Holly Holm and Julianna Peña. I think that makes a lot of sense. Of course, I wouldn't mind to fight Holly again. I still think that I'm one fight away. And some people might go, wait a minute, didn't she lose her last fight?
What? So Raquel, Julianna, and Misha all want to fight in the fall. Interesting. Maybe Misha just wants to go to Fight Island and get a fight in. I'd say she would deserve that. She's already been vice president of one championship, so she's seen the world. But still, it could be a fun time. But that doesn't make any fucking sense. If Mish thinks Holly and Peña should fight for the vacant strap, who would she fight that would get her the title fight? Pennington? It's wild to me how the fighter with the longest fucking winning streak is continuously ignored. Weird. By the way, didn't Pennington already beat Miesha Tate? Notice every single fighter except Peña is positive in regards to Amanda's retirement.
Thank you.
Hey, Holly. The consensus is, Julianna Peña versus Raquel Pennington for the vacant Bantamweight title. Do you feel like a win on Saturday, you leapfrog one of them and put yourself in there?
Yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't. We're ranked 1, 2, and 3. I do feel like I'm one fight away from the title regardless. And even at 145 or 135.
There's been some rumors that Ronda may return, some rumors at 135, 145. Is that a fight you'd be interested in? And would you prefer one of those weight classes over the other?
I don't know if she'll really come back. I mean, I think, who knows if it's just talk. I know she's a very competitive person. There's a reason why she was an Olympian and a reason why she was a champion for so long. So I would absolutely revisit that fight.
Yeah, who say that?
Super Bass says fuck Holly. 505 represent Albuquerque's own. Ronda will be walking into an ass spelunking if she comes back any earlier than UFC 300. My opinion. And during that time, she better be training her ass off. 20-week camp minimum. Just like Raquel and Julianna. Holly also thinks she is one fight away from a title shot. So I'm wondering, what the fuck is going on here? As I've covered in a previous video, John Anik stated that if anyone was worthy of a UFC return, it would be Ronda Rousey. And every single idiot that can type or press record in MMA media turned it into all kinds of untrue and not even remotely close to what Anik said headlines. So much so that JD from NY, someone who covers WWE and AEW very well, by the way, shout out, and doesn't watch MMA, feels it's the main reason Ronda has a hard date to leave the WWE. I have already spoke on this and why I think she could be leaving. Coming back to fight before 2024 is not one of those reasons. I guarantee you all that on Julianna Peña's bucket list, the name Ronda Rousey exists. Though Ronda has been chill in WWE and putting Liv Morgan over and currently trying to do the same with her best friend Shayna Baszler, she ain't about to put Julianna over. Even though Ariel has already rookie year shacked the rest of his cohorts in MMA media with one tweet, this one, I'm not sure the Ronda thing is fully over. Too many of these hyenas are mentioning dates and title fights that don't add up. Is the UFC bringing Featherweight back? But this time, Chelsea Handler... 50 Cent's ex-girlfriend Chelsea Handler just said she heard Ronda was coming back to the Featherweight division. I kind of think that might be just a call out to, hey, let's not get rid of the Featherweight. Come back, Ronda. That's fair. Or maybe she just heard fake news. But is there enough to even have a top 5 in the Featherweight? I can see Ronda coming to fight Miesha at 145 for a belt, while Julianna gets to fight Holly or Raquel. Imagine that shit on one card. That'd be wild. I can also see Ronda not returning for a fight and doing some grapple shit like George St. Pierre is doing. Now, for me, that is far more interesting than Ronda in an MMA fight at the moment. I think Ronda would clean up in straight grappling, even with the layoff. Meanwhile, maybe Miesha and Holly run it back at 145? Pennington and Julianna needs to happen this fall. If Holly wins with the finish over Mayra Buena Silva, well damn. The machine is gonna skip Pennington yet again. Then what? she fights Misha again? All of this I do not trust, because Dana looked too sketch when asked about the Peña-Pennington fight. Either way, Julianna Peña has talked herself into a corner. Whomever she fights, it should be for that belt, and she better win for her sake. Julianna's window to be great in MMA is closing rapidly, so she better get healthy, stay injury-free, and get a move on.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfucker.